Hello everyone, have you ever dreamed of popping up from behind a line of trees and raining death upon an unsuspecting enemy? If so, you've probably been watching too many ninja movies and need psychiatric help. For the rest of you, here's my first look and flight of the Harrier. As you can see from the intro, the exterior looks amazing, so let's change it to something more tasteful and take a look inside. The one area where Razbam never seem to disappoint are their cockpits, and this one is no exception. Over the last couple of days I've been going over this one intently, and I can't seem to find any flaws. It neither looks like it's straight off the assembly line, nor does it look like it's held together with aircraft tape and the continual sacrifice of virgins by the crew chief. Additionally, there are some nice little touches like the LED screens which look like they were spat on and cleaned with somebody's spunk rag. Most of the switches are active and most of them do something. Without procrastinating like your dad every time your mum gets horny, let's get this baby started. It's important to note that the Harrier has just been released in early access, and there appear to be a few bugs. The engine seems to be about as immune to bad startups as Charlie Sheen is to mace and sexually transmitted infections. To my shame, my own personal best is 6 consecutive failed startups. When you eventually get it started, the sound of the engine coming to life is as satisfying as being given a baseball bat with a nail through it and sent into a soundproof room with Justin Bieber. The sound is how one would imagine an industrial vacuum cleaner would sound if it subsisted solely on pure uncooked cocaine and anabolic steroids. The instrument backlighting looks amazing, however the INS doesn't work yet. Bad Razbam. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that, and you probably couldn't give 2 squirts of sailor's spunk about things that don't work on early release. Because you're here for the money shot, the thing the Harrier does that no other jets can do. And I don't need a crystal ball to know there'll be some pedantic fucker in the comments listing everything that can rise vertically off the ground from a grasshopper to a midget pissing on an electric fence. But the Harrier is to VTOL what Donald Trump is to gullibility and Anne Frank is to attics. So without further procrastination, let's get to the levitation. It's all about getting the nozzle a spider's snatch hair below 90 degrees and gently advancing the throttle. When the wheels on stick, there's a nervous excitement like that of a child expecting their first festive visit from Jimmy Savile. If the aircraft doesn't suddenly flip and bury its nose in the ground, you know you've got it. The next step is transitioning the nozzle into forward flight, raising the gear and retracting the flaps. When you've achieved that, congratulations, you are now flying a computer game. Your parents will be bursting with pride. Flying the Harrier is an absolute blast. For a ground pounder, it's unique. It neither crawls along like the A-10, nor does it split space-time like the Vigan. It's kind of in a Goldilocks zone of ground pounders. The throttle is both sensitive and extremely responsive. It doesn't fuck around. If you get yourself into trouble, you can generally get out of it with creative use of the nozzle and throttle. The Harrier feels quite at home low to the ground, and the flight model seems quite forgiving of small errors. The previously mentioned throttle response gives you quite a bit of headroom. The controls feel tight without feeling heavy or clunky. There is the slight dampening one comes to expect from a stability augmentation system, however at no point does it become oppressive. I've deliberately avoided setting any curves on my stick, and so far I haven't felt the need to. Incidentally, as of this recording, neither autopilot nor altitude hold are working. Naughty Razbam. Those of you who have gotten used to the A10C systems over the years are in for a little bit of a pleasant surprise. It's totally different. Of course rockets are rockets and bombs are bombs, and the way weapons operate is almost universal. You point them at the enemy, you fire, at some point he goes bollocks and disappears into a red mist. On the Harrier they're just joined up differently to the A10C, so there's going to be a huge learning curve. Before we finish up, let's take a look at what's working and what's missing. Or as I like to call it, house training your third-party developer. First of all, for a little treat, we have the magnificent exterior, the exceptional cockpit, the beautiful lighting, the flight model, and of course VTOL, fuck yeah! Of course they get a rolled up newspaper on the nose for having no INS, no moving map, and no autopilot. In spite of what I've said, it has the makings of a great module and is already immense fun. So overall I want to say very good boy Razbam, even if you do sometimes pee on the couch and dry hump the cat from the wrong end. If vertical takeoff was the money shop for you, then vertical landing will be the dirty Sanchez of the Harrier. Incidentally, Razbam have also given us a ship to practice crashing into. If things start getting too hairy like 70s Japanese porn, simply throttle up, nozzle out, circle around and try again. Vertical or even short diagonal landings like this one require a lot of practice and patience. It's a simple matter of doing everything you did during takeoff except doing it in reverse. Getting the correct nozzle vector to keep pace with the ship adds another dimension of fun. But nothing beats the sense of jubilation when you land safely on the deck for the first time. Except the feeling of betrayal when you slide back off the deck like sailor's semen from your mum's cheeks. On that note, I thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to dislike or tell me to go fuck myself below.